Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chairs, the Rise podcast. And today I got a special guest. This is a good friend of mine. I met her once and she blew me away with her personality and she was just dope. And we've been, keeping in contact ever since. And, when I met her, I found out she had her own podcast. I guess she wasn't doing it at the time, but she had one. I was very curious what that was all about. And she got into murder cases and shit. And today, I think I just have her on here and just kick this shit today. So, Allie, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself, Dustin?
I'm doing really good. It's been a while since I've seen you.
I know it has been a while.
So what's new in your neighborhood?
Not a whole lot. Like you mentioned before, I did have a podcast, and I want to kind of get into doing podcasts. And this is kind of like the kickstart for me to get back on that and get motivated to rekindle that and possibly even rebrand my podcast as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I'll help you spark that off and we'll
Perfect.
get you a jump on here and promote you. Yeah, because I listened to a few of your episodes, your old ones, and I thought it was really awesome. And I think you had a co-host. Do you still keep in contact with him, or does he still have a podcast, or what's his deal?
Yeah, so he was a coworker of mine, and we both love true crime, and we started a podcast together. Him and I both always wanted to do a podcast, and we decided, hey, let's go ahead and jumpstart this. And we did it for about 8 episodes or 7 episodes, and we still are friends and everything. Nothing, no bad blood or anything there. It's just he was doing a PhD program and he got really busy and he actually moved away to New York City. So he's off doing bigger and better things out there. So now I did another program to further my knowledge as well for a year. So I've kind of been out of the loop with podcasting. And since I finished that program that I was in for a year, I have been wanting to get back into it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So one of the stories that you had, what was the one that kind of jumped out to you the most, that you liked the most? Or yeah.
Yeah, so my favorite case that I covered was actually our first case, and we both did part of the case, which was the Gypsy Rose case
Mm.
or Dee Dee Blanchard. That case was very controversial, and um, it's one of those where you actually side with the criminal,
Ooh,
which is,
okay.
yeah, I know. It was just to kind of give you a brief little bit about it. Her name is Gypsy Rose. Um, her mother was Dee Dee, and this was a case they call it Munchausen by proxy. Essentially, the victim is the child in this case, and the mother was making the child out to be this very sick girl. I mean, even to the point where she was on a feeding tube and had seizure medications and was deemed to be mentally handicapped, but she was actually completely fine. And this young girl grew up thinking that she was ill, and the mom kept taking her to medical appointments. Essentially, what had happened is this girl met a boy online,
Hmm.
and they had planned, and he came and murdered the mother.
Mm.
And she went to prison as well. The boy went to prison. Obviously, the mom had passed away, and the boy murdered her. And she's actually out now. She, I think, got out this past year or so. So she is out of prison. And that's like a huge
Wow.
controversial thing about her being out of prison. And should she have even gone to prison? It was a whole case, and it was just very interesting. And I fell in love with that case.
And where did this take place?
Oh gosh, I think it was like Tennessee or Kentucky or
Okay.
something,
Okay.
someplace else, not Wisconsin,
Okay.
surprisingly, right? But he was from Wisconsin. The boy was from Wisconsin. So
Oh,
there
okay.
was a little bit that had taken place in Wisconsin. I believe they came to Wisconsin. But yeah, I think his name was Nick, maybe. It's been so long since I went over that case, but yeah, I sided with the criminal in this instance.
Wow. Okay. Huh.
Hmm. I know it was a
It's like
whole
the people
wild
who
ride.
root for Jack the Ripper. We're killing
Right, exactly.
prostitutes. Those Christians are
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, right. I actually went to, speaking of Jack the Ripper,
Mhm.
I actually went to London a year or so ago, 2 years
Oh,
ago,
cool. Yeah.
and went to the bar that Jack the Ripper would solicit his
Ooh, shit.
victims. So I have
Oh, that's
pictures of
crazy.
that. Yeah, it was, I didn't do the tour. There was like a whole tour that you could do, but I just went to the bar, took some cool pictures at the 10 Bells, I think it's called. And nowhere do they advertise anywhere that this is where Jack the Ripper was, but it was the bar that he would solicit women at, and it was so nice. It was a really neat bar. You would have loved it, Dustin. You would have
Oh,
loved
that.
it.
Oh, that's so
It was a
cool.
whole vibe in there, and there was like no one in there. It was in the afternoon, and I'm just there with my friend, and we're just getting a beer at the
Day
10 Bells.
drinking.
Yeah, just drinking in London and having a beer where Jack the Ripper hung out. So no big deal.
That is so cool and creepy too, right?
Right.
Oh man.
Very eerie.
Hmm.
Very eerie.
But the fact that he was kind of like the Riddler at the time, like he left these like crazy messages, coded messages behind, almost
Yeah.
like poems and shit, kind of rubbing into the
Hmm.
cops' faces that you're never gonna catch me. And like
Yep.
the reason why he was killing prostitutes is another symbol of, the crazy, like they were worthless people. And
Right.
he found them despicable himself. So yeah,
Hmm.
very, very odd. I love the one Johnny Depp was in. You ever seen that movie, Jack the
Which one?
Ripper?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, that one's really good.
Sounds like I'll have to watch
Johnny
it.
Depp is the detective trying to figure it out, but he takes like um he's in the opium den and he like
Oh,
gets his
okay.
visions like to
Hmm.
seek out his investigations and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, really crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Depp kills it. I love that guy. Um, yeah, it reminds me too of like this well, you wouldn't side with this murder, obviously, but this happened in Madison, with the couple out in the Arboretum. Remember this? Like a few years ago?
That was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that
it's
the
like
one
3 years
with,
ago or some shit. Yeah, so this
yeah,
woman, the parents of really rich parents, I think they were doctors or something
I
like
think they
that.
were both doctors, yeah.
And they adopted a girl and she had this thuggy ass boyfriend that
Oh.
that they planned to murder their parents and steal from them because they had a bunch of money.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like kidnapped them, forced them at gunpoint to give them money and shit, and then like
Right.
executed style shoot them right in the entrance of the arboretum. Like what the fuck?
Oh my
And
gosh.
some jogger
Dude.
found one of the women was
I think
still
the woman,
alive.
right?
Hey, hey,
Or
she's still
yeah.
alive and for a little while, and then she passed away, obviously. But yeah, what the fuck? How like create
Seriously.
psychologically too, being that jogger, finding these two shot like that. Holy hell.
Right. Yeah. Well, and too, I think in DeForest too, there was the kid where he murdered his parents too, and they found, I don't know, this was a couple years ago too, where he killed both of his parents, but he like lied and said that I don't know if he said that they were like on vacation or he couldn't get a hold of them or
Uh-huh.
something, but this wasn't long ago either. I remember this one not too long ago either.
Yeah,
So
I
there's
kind of remember
everyone's
that too.
just, yeah, they found the parents. I don't know if they found them on like train tracks or something, but there wasn't that one too that was fairly
And there was
recent.
another bizarre one that was further up north where that girl got kidnapped. Remember, because that guy,
And
that
then
kid,
they found her. She got away,
she got
right?
away, right? So she
Yeah.
she was being stalked by this boy because she like
Yes.
fantasized about her when she first came out the bus. And
Yeah.
then he made like a kitty dungeon in his basement when he was living with
Yeah.
his dad. And then he
Yep.
like planned with a shotgun and kills the dad through the door and then comes
Yep.
in, grabs the mother, and what has the girl watch getting her
Yep.
mom's head blown off by the shotgun. And this girl's all traumatized and all fucked up.
And
And he
then she
almost
gets kidnapped,
yeah,
right?
gets kidnapped, thrown in the trunk, and he almost gets caught because the cops, like, I guess, came shortly after that because there were someone reported gunshots or some shit.
Hmm.
And then yeah, she ended up saving herself, right?
Yeah,
Like
she
like a
got
week
away and
later,
she
she
like
like
wasn't far.
no. They found
Yeah.
her all tore up and shit.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my. You can make that into a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's so many movies that can be made with just things that we hear around here. And then I had covered on my podcast, there was a case that it was a teenage girl, and I actually saw something on TV recently about her too, where this girl, I don't remember the exact details of it, but this young teenage girl, and she was an amazing musician and was like all ready to go to college, and she just got murdered. And come to find out, the person that had murdered her was her best friend. And the reason being he murdered her was he just wanted to kill someone and murdered this his best friend for no reason. So,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
right.
I don't know. What are these people thinking? And then we had um I don't know, this is back in the 90s. Who's called the Baraboo Bone Breaker. You ever heard of this guy?
I heard of that. I don't know what that one was
This
about though.
guy had like I don't know, it was a sexual gratification or just the satisfaction of hearing bones break gives him like this high in itself. So yeah, you'd kidnap people, strap them to a bed, and take a baseball bat and break them and make them look like a pretzel,
Oh,
and then eventually kill them. But like, holy Christ, what the fuck? That is
seriously.
so fucking gnarly.
What the actual fuck? I don't
Yeah,
know, man. But that's kind of what I cover in my podcast is true crime, and I it's so much work to do a true crime podcast
sure.
besides having a full-time job because researching a case and then presenting it, figuring out how you want to present it is a whole lot of work. So I think that's why it kind of dwindled as well. But with my rebranding, I kind of want to do just more talks and chats with other people about
Yes.
Lord knows what. I don't even care, just a
Sure, sure.
topic and talk about it. So that's kind of what I want to gear towards, and then also throw in true crime as well.
Yeah. It's actually if that's what your stick is. And knowing
Yeah,
a lot of that. And yeah, I think you can even get people who do this stuff as a hobby so you can just have them talk and you can ask them questions. And
that's true too.
you
Yeah.
don't need to do much research. Actually, I don't do any research on my guests. I have them just talk about themselves, and then just
Right.
tell
I
me right there
mean,
and then. It's just like,
you have them
why
there.
would it exactly right? Why would you just like tell them a whole list right before we start, like what they do, their credentials, and just like it gets
They can tell
old.
you.
It's just yeah, exactly. They could say it. Like I
Hmm.
like people like to talk about themselves for God's sake.
It's true. It's like, oh, ask me anything. I'll answer anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I am. And I think that's what makes a podcast more interesting too, is just talking to people, getting to know them, and then literally just talking about
And
anything and
anything. If it
anything
just
that
comes for
comes up.
exactly. People like that natural conversation and like I don't know if you watch Bill Maher's podcast. I think it's
No.
called what the fuck is it called? Club Random.
Oh, no.
Awesome. He gets like celebrities and other people on his, but it's just normal talk. He just gets like a bunch of drugs and alcohol for his guests just to sit there on the couches and just get high and just talk and kick the shit.
Why
You know,
not?
yeah, no, it's just really cool. It's a great get anything. It's just awesome.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, if you're gonna get people on there, you might as well just get completely uninterrupted random thought flow going.
Right. Well, that's why I want to resurrect the noisy alley cats. I think that just because I do a lot of the alien stuff, I like to talk about other things too, obviously. Um,
Mm,
just because it's just fun.
yeah.
And to switch it up a little bit. The fact that I can actually I'm starting to edit my own videos and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot easier and just kind of fun to step outside the box of UFOs and stuff like that. But no, I love
Yeah.
UFOs, and that's what we're all about. Flying chairs to rise.
All right.
But alien friend there.
Yep. I love it. I know I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute over there.
Yep. Um, no, yeah. So I wanted to mention too, what's happening in the UFO media right now is tomorrow there's gonna be a big whistleblower, a big bombshell. Ooh,
Nice.
things
What's going
started
on?
shaking. Well, this whistleblower claims that he's got um, footage of crash UFOs that they were retrieving because this guy used to work in the special unit military dark projects
Shit,
retrieving
dude.
in reverse engineering shit. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know if this guy had a body camera or had his own fucking camera, or was it like his phone that he just pulled out just when no one's looking? You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Like, when is like the footage or anything from? Is that like, is it a recent thing or is it from a while ago? Do you
It's
know?
got to be from a while ago,
Okay.
because we've been kind of battling Congress with releasing more evidence, and they're just kind of poking around, so it makes it like seem like they know what's up, and they're just kind of like dosey doing the
Yeah,
questions, the whistleblowers, and kind of hushy pushy everything. And it's just like, no, like, so there's more whistleblowers coming out of the woodwork with more evidence. It's like, all right, now,
right.
all right, we're gonna start showing some real hardcore shit then. you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully tomorrow, like what they're claiming, that something big is gonna be shown tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I think Eastern time
Okay.
on the News Nation or Nation News.
That's awesome.
Um,
That'll be, I'll have
Historic.
to, yeah. Well, and it's like finally you're getting credible, and I'm not saying other people aren't credible, but you're getting people that are more credible,
Yes.
to the general
What?
public as
Yes.
well.
Yes, especially the military guys, right? And these guys have
Right.
their credentials, and they have their records of being these people who they say they are.
And why do they have a reason to, they have no reason to lie.
No,
And I mean, if
and
anything, like it would
ruin their
ostracise
reputation.
them. Exactly.
I don't know
Exactly.
if you know
That's
David Grush is like that popular guy who kind of started the whole big whistleblowing
with the other
recently.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just more of the Congress talking. So yeah, it's just no, I think I just need to announce that to my audience that they should tune
Yay.
in tomorrow if you want to catch some big news. And hopefully it's not some hushy push shit. You know what I'm saying? That we had to like, here we go again. We have
Right.
to wait again
Yeah.
until something legitimate comes out. But this could be legitimate, and this could be a big bombshell. This could be change the world. The religious crazy fucks can jump off rooftops and shit. So
Yeah. Are you going to be live at all during that to
you
cover
know,
it or?
I have a I have a date tomorrow, so no, probably not. I'm probably just gonna watch it
Mhm.
live.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just my main focus would be on that. I'd be too excited otherwise. No, I'll probably if it's something big and I'll probably do something the next day and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think you should, regardless, you should cover it. Whether it's bullshit or not, you should totally
nah.
come
Oh
on
yeah,
and be
I'll
like,
maybe I'll
this is
make a
my, what I'm
five
thinking.
minute little clip.
Yeah, exactly. Something for sure. I think so. I mean, the people have to know.
They do need to know.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, let's go back to your podcast that you might
Yeah.
resurrect here. So, do you have a name you're thinking with, or like,
So yeah,
do you
I
if you
currently, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say
I
if you need some like guests to jump on your podcast, I certainly like reach out to like if you haven't noticed my podcast, it's kind of all over the place, helter skelter. I kind of like
right.
make it like a circus at the same time. I think it's better that way. There's more things to choose from and
Yeah.
what mood you're in for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, Variety and just a bunch of content, basically.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there.
So
It's just vomit.
just word vomit everywhere. That's kind of my brain is just all over the place. So I might as well just have a podcast that's all over the place.
Yeah, you
But
should.
yeah, currently so because I'm a pharmacist by trade, my podcast is currently named Vile Crime. It's VIAL. So
Okay,
Vile Crime. I thought that was kind of clever.
that is good.
And so now because I kind of want to move away from Vile Crime because I don't want it to be, just crime based, I'm thinking just vile. Literally the word just vile.
Just vile. That's
Just
tight.
vile.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of where I landed. I know it's probably super lame sounding, but I'm like, yeah, just vile. So,
No, it's simple.
yeah.
And it's just like vile. When I think of it, it's just like a spew of tons of things.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and I like so many different things too because I don't know why or what my life is anymore. I really like cults and I just find
Oh,
them so interesting.
oh,
And
can we talk about a cult?
so, yeah, yeah, I
We
love
should
cults.
we should talk about Heaven's Gate.
Okay, so yeah,
Dum dum dum.
I was thinking about that when you okay, yeah. So Heaven's Gate, I mean, what a wild ride. I mean, I think
Right?
what a way to go out and like the
Straight
beliefs that
up.
people have and let's all wear like Nike track jacket outfits and
Shave their
fucking
heads. Yeah.
take some what is it, vodka and I don't know if they took
Well, those people were
benzos
in that
or
cult for like 20 years or some shit before they all
yes,
committed suicide like that, you know?
yes. Yeah.
And then
I think that they just and there was people that survived because they weren't there.
well, it's still around, believe it or not. You know
Oh
that?
yeah, there's
The
still an active
website.
website. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
still an active website for them and I know it's and I think I don't know if this was the cult where she had passed away before
Yes.
the so they had to change kind of
Change
their
the
whole yeah,
theory.
their whole script and
Yeah.
everything of
Yeah.
yeah, so that was Heaven's Gate was an interesting one and that was kind of why I wanted to get into other things besides just I mean, I guess I don't really consider cult a crime, so I kind of wanted to gear towards other avenues of my interests. So I think cults were another thing I wanted to cover as well. So Heaven's Gate, yeah, that's an interesting one to look into. And I kind of grew up not really in a cult, but kind of. Um,
Oh,
so
shit. What?
I I don't think people I don't know if it's considered a cult, but I grew up and I don't think anyone in my group will see this podcast, but I grew up in a group that was called the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research.
Okay.
And its whole basis is following this man, Dr. Henry Clifford Kinley, and his visions. So
Wow.
that's what I grew up in. We went 3 times a week
Wow.
to, yeah. Um, yep. So I grew up kind of in a cult. And I didn't really realize it was kind of culty until this past year when my father had passed away. And my sister and I were talking, and um, there's this moderation at the beginning of every class. They're called classes that we go to. And there's people that will have, so this moderation is like, I actually had looked it up, and it's like 11 minutes long. And I played it to myself and I remembered the whole thing, the whole 11 minutes of this moderation. And I'm like, holy crap, like this is, oh shit. I grew up in this and I didn't realize it was weird or anything. Um, but yeah, you'll listen to these teachers that will go up and talk to you about um, Doc Kinley's vision. And I would do that for 2 hours, 3 times a week throughout my whole childhood. And um, I have when I had gone home when my dad passed away, I have like some of his books that belonged to this man. So it's like a whole interesting thing. I don't really remember a whole lot of like the teachings, but I just remember like praying to Yahweh and Dot Kinley was like him as a being. And yeah, it's a whole thing, Dustin. I know. You're probably like, what the fuck we got into cult stuff.
No, that's cool, but like I never heard of this one.
Yeah,
I just know the
yep.
Mormons and the Scientologists.
Scientology, that's a whole thing too. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, mine I mean, we never paid anything that I'm aware of. I never paid anything to them, but that's how I grew up was going to this and following this man's teachings. And it's really funny because to this day, I still have this man's pictures on my TV stand. Like those are the pictures that I have are like our leaders.
What's your boyfriend think about that?
I know, right? Like it's like I
It's
have this
like,
old
who's
black
this guy
man
looking at me
on
when I'm in
my
bed with you?
TV. Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
got very penetrating eyes.
yeah, he's just like this little old wrinkly man, and
Oh
that's who's
no, with
on my
nine wives.
probably. But yeah, I have some of his books. He was like a preacher or something, and he had a vision, and
Wow.
everyone followed him. I know it's unbelievable, and I didn't realize it
I feel like
until
we can easily start a cult like that. Just like,
I
oh,
want to be the charismatic
I
leader.
got hit with
Like
the
that
light.
is
And I
that
know
is
where
my
the
goal.
Holy Grail is right now. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna
Yep.
show the world, and I'm gonna be
Yep.
the next
Yeah.
religious leader.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be walking on water. Bring it on.
Uh-huh. There
I'll
was
be
like a whole
fucking your
thing.
mom.
It's yeah, exactly. We'll be totally fine. I've always wanted to be a cult leader. I think I have the charisma to do that. So, yes, I will make a
The
cult.
Chariz. That's
I
tight.
totally have the riz for a cult. So, yeah, I kind of grew up in sort of a cult, but yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
my
Wow.
I
And
know.
you
I know.
survived. Dun
I
dun
did.
dun.
I did. I did survive, and I want to go back
You're
because
gonna go back.
I got invited back to it. So, and
Really?
yeah,
This
I
old
did
man's
because
still
we went
kicking?
back. No, the old man is dead. He's been dead, but of course now some
His
of the other
son,
people are, the beings. So
the
yeah,
beat. Oh shit.
the I think they call it like that they have the Holy Spirit. So they have the Holy Spirit. So
Are they
they
the ones that
are
like take rattlesnakes and like get bitten in the neck? It's like God's gonna save me.
probably, yeah. I wish it was that exciting. I wish it was that exciting. I would totally be into that. I've always wanted to go to one of those churches. I was actually telling my boyfriend this. I was like, I want to go to one of those churches where the people are just yelling and the people are just like, seizing on the ground. Those are the exciting ones that I want to go experience. So, if anyone knows where those are, I'm totally down and ready to go. Oh, so Dustin, by the way, okay, so I had reached out to you recently and was like, "Hey, I haven't heard from Dustin in a while. You met one of my friends at a bar.
I did. Which one?
He's a tall blonde guy,
Oh,
and he'll
blonde
be
guy.
watching this podcast eventually. And he's like,
Oh,
"Hey,
cool.
I met one of your friends at the bar." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, a
Which
guy
bar?
covered in tattoos. I think Cardinal or no, maybe Cardinal or maybe Cardinal. What's
Vince the
no,
Cardinal. Wow,
no,
the
no, not
village.
Cardinal. Village. Yes, Village, the one on the corner there.
Okay.
Yeah, you might have met Village. And he's like, yeah, I met one of your friends. He's
Does he
covered
have
in
long hair?
tattoos.
Does he have long hair?
No,
Okay.
no, he's got
Mm.
short. He's really tall. He's like six
Super
four.
tall. Okay. He did date an Asian girl?
No,
Okay. I'm trying to
no.
think what monstrous people I've like met
But
there.
anyways, so he was like, hey,
Cool.
he's like, yeah, you should talk to you should reach out to Dustin and let him know that we met. And I'm like, okay. And then we started then, you would invite me onto your podcast, but
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
amazing.
but what he does is he used to do ghost hunting.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so I was like, we should totally go ghost hunting. He's got
Oh,
equipment and
cool.
stuff somewhere. So I don't know if you're into ghost hunting, but I was like, we need to totally go ghost hunting. I've
Yeah,
never been ghost hunting, so.
I never been either. Actually, I know a girl that does the ghost walks here in Madison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we host sometimes together at these gatherings. I do once a month with the
Okay.
guys, other local podcasters. You should come to these and like network
Yeah.
with us and stuff like that. That'd be cool. Um, yeah, no, that's so funny. I wish I know this guy's name or get a better uh an
I'll
idea.
have to show
'Cause
you a picture of
yeah,
him some other
yeah,
time.
that'd be really cool.
I
That's
totally
so cool
will.
that like people are listening in and tuning in, or at least the fact that it's a small world. Actually, we had that same bar, we have a guest on there. Her name is Brogan, and she was
Okay.
from Belleville. That's another
Right. Just
town that
south of
claims
here.
to be the UFO capital of the world. So
Do they have the parade down there?
yeah. Hmm.
I think
So
you told me about that.
yeah, so three towns claim to be the capital UFO or the UFO capital of the world. So all three towns have yearly UFO parades by dressing up their cars like flying saucers and dressing up like aliens and reminiscing UFO stories. Elmwood has been like the longest running one since the 1940s. Dun, dun,
Holy
dun.
cow, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. So there's like it's another thing about makes unique. What makes Elmwood very unique. Let me talk. uh, there's plaques all over the town of like where the UFOs landed and like
Oh shit.
sightings and like there's a sheriff in town that actually saw one and got blasted with a blue beam and then died a year later because
Damn.
of
Oh my
radiation poisoning.
God.
Yeah, right. George
What?
Wheeler is his name.
Damn.
And there's Hob Wilson that had like a marshmallow looking UFO land on his property and he got really close to it and it shot up
Oh,
into the
that's
sky.
cool.
And then I don't know if you know about Joe Simonton, 1961, Eagle River, Wisconsin. I
Oh,
like
an
to tell
Eagle
this
River.
story all this time, all the time. I hope my audience doesn't get pissed at me for telling the story all the time, but I love it and I think it's relevant because it's so awesome. But anyways, Joe Simonton was eating food, either breakfast or lunch in his kitchen, and he happened to look out the window, and there came a silver flying saucer.
Hmm.
Landed on his driveway. He ran out of his house, and this latch opened up where a man in a tight blue jumpsuit. He had like olive skin, kind of looking like an Italian man, 5 foot tall. And he had very penetrating eyes, and he was holding like an empty jug. He's motioning for water. He's looking at Joe,
Oh my
and Joe is
God.
like, "What is
The fuck?
he's trying to get a conversation going, right?" And he's like, "Do you want something to drink, like water?" And he's like, "I don't know." Didn't say any shit. He's like, "Okay." So he goes and gets water, and he comes back and gives it to this guy, and he noticed there's two other guys just like him in the craft that were like over this flat, flameless grill cooking these like pancakes, like little like about I don't know about this size.
Fucking A, dude.
And this alien picked up these four pancakes and gave it to Joe for the exchange of water. And he's like, "You want me to take? You want me to eat this?" He took a bite of one of them and said, "It tastes like a piece of cardboard." And he's all confused because there's
Oh,
still no words coming out, no conversation, not even the sign language, nothing. Just very penetrating eyes. Like his eyes were just fucking gigantic, wide, fucking.
dude.
Just really weird. But he's human, right? He had brown hair apparently, but in a tight blue jumpsuit with like a tight belt. Very weird. But anyways, they got back into the craft and it's like angled up and it shot like a fucking bullet. And Joe's standing there with his hot, greasy pancakes in hand, like just all confused.
Like,
And he calls the authorities, come by and tells his story and shows them evidence. And these got tested by scientists. And they found out that there were regular buckwheat pancakes, but they did not have any trace of salt. And that's impossible because everything on Earth that's organic has a trace of
has
salt
carbon.
because of the oceans. So uh the fact that these might have made it off
Bro.
planet. So
Are these
there's a
pancakes somewhere or did he eat them? Like, where are the pancakes?
well, I might have some pictures. I mean, I had to get rid of a lot of. Well, actually, yeah, I might have them here.
How awesome. It's like Elon Musk going
Here,
into the future. That's what it was. It was Elon
I'll
Musk.
show them really quick. Here's Joe holding up
Oh
his
my gosh.
pancakes. Dun, dun, dun. Alien pancake game.
Oh my God.
And here's a colored photograph of another one. Boom, boom, boom. So
Can you like what would you do if you receive here, you received this now.
yeah, you get this.
You
So,
get this.
and then if you think about it, how do you think communion got started?
Bro.
I think I killed that theory, motherfucker.
Oh shit.
So, like, think of
Bro.
extraterrestrials just doing that throughout time, all over the place. You
You
know what I'm saying?
receive.
You receive after
Receive.
for that whole, like the exchange for water, you get the
What the fuck?
communion.
Yes. Bro.
Right?
Solved.
Solved. Killed,
Solved.
killed it.
Mystery solved. Done. And you're like,
No,
I just solved the planet.
yeah, again, it just these you wonder where these customs and things came into play, right? Of like
Yeah.
how that was all about. Or like I go back to the ancient cargo cults and even the modern cargo cults that we see today that we kind of you can stem religion from. I don't know if you know much about the cargo cults being a
Mm-mm.
cult. Okay.
No.
For someone who's into cults,
I
this
don't
one's
even know
gonna
much about my
flip.
own cult, so
This one's gonna flip your lid. I talk
good.
about this one a lot because I like to get in people's heads that
Good.
this shit is for rizzle. And this is my theory of like how all religions around the world got their start, but they just kind of lost their meanings and ways throughout time, and men kind of manipulating
Hmm.
the teachings and like trying to profit off of it. You know how it
Right.
goes.
Oh
Men are just fucked up.
yeah.
But no, there's 150 cargo cults that still exist today, and it kind of all started during World War II when we were fighting the Japanese in the Pacific. Some of those islands were inhabited by indigenous people that had never seen an airplane before, and they were thought that their ancestors were the ones that are bringing these Thunderbirds.
Okay. Yeah, this
So,
sort of rings a bell.
okay, so when these they were watching from the bush that these Americans coming out, not needing a hunt for food, kind of impressed by that, and they're like, wow, this is magic that they're riding in basically.
Yeah.
And they, when the Americans left these islands, the indigenous made runways out of the jungles and made bamboo fetishes of airplanes, and then wrote USA on their chest with bamboo rifles, marching,
Hmm.
trying to entice airplanes to land on their airport because they think that their ancestors are the ones bringing these things. And again, you see this throughout history, even further back, like ancient India. Like
Yeah.
those, the ancient temples they have are the shape of Vimana, and those the flying vehicles of the gods. And these gods are like in the hundreds. They came in hundreds. They had blue skin. They had different powers and different trades, and they even waged war with each other over India. And people are witnessing this shit. And they're writing that shit,
Hmm.
carving that shit in stone and shit. This shit is for real, So it's like so weird. And then even further back, we talk about the Kayapo Indians and fucking Brazil, and they talk about this thing that came from the sky with fire and smoke and landed on the top of the mountain, and it came into their village, and it looked like the Michelin Man, straight up like bulbous,
Yeah.
like Stay Puff came rolling in, that motherfucker.
Wow.
And then the brave Indians there started trying to fight him with sticks and stones and spears and shit, and it just like turned into dust on his clothes, and he had a weapon himself, and he pointed at a tree, and it blew up, and all the Indians ran to the
Damn.
bush, and like, what the fuck? And then he stood in their village for days like a statue. And then I guess more brave Indians went there and offered
Hmm.
food to his feet. And then he started speaking their language. And they're like, whoa, how the fuck do you speak in our language? He's like, well, I had to listen to you motherfuckers in the bush
All right.
trying to figure out what they're going to do with me.
Right.
And then he was like, well, I'm going to teach you agriculture, mathematics, astrology, because these people were drinking from the same water hole as animals before that motherfucker came rolling in there. So
Hmm.
they had a school named after him, Beb Karoti, and yeah, it's still around today. And then they practice and do this yearly celebration of talking about this guy, and they dress up one of the villagers
Nice.
like a Beb Karoti in this bulbous suit, and it's made of straw and sticks and shit. And then they do a dance around him, telling the story. He came down, taught us shit, married one of our women, and he left, promising one day he returned. And this guy, like, he was human. He had white skin and a beard, and he had like a glass helmet, but he had like this big bulbous suit. He's just like this fat,
Damn.
like just jolly, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
But he had this like stick. Um, yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Those stories there are just that's what hits for me.
Hmm.
Like that's core evidence of like how religion had its base, because before we had all these gods and multiple gods. Then you talk about the
Hmm.
Greek gods too.
Hmm.
We had, I think, the first religions were weather, right? Like the things that
Yeah.
people physically could see and touch, like the
Right.
rain,
Hmm.
earthquakes, tsunamis, like whatever the
Yeah.
fuck came,
Yeah.
tornadoes. That's the god right there. Who made
Yep. Someone's doing this.
yeah, that lightning started that fire. Now we have heat.
Hmm.
That's a god. You know what I'm saying? But then out of the blue, and all around the world, all these cultures start talking about these things coming out of the sky. You know,
Hmm.
and it's flying
Yeah.
chariots to flying turtles, flying shield, all these fucking
Yeah.
different names, different, and people didn't have the fucking vocabulary to describe what they were seeing, right? So like they
Right.
just did their best, you know, with
Well,
their
and
fucking
and
poetry.
shock comes into it. Like shock
Yeah,
comes into those things too, because I mean, you're not expecting something to come to you and to comprehend what's happening. And when things happen so fast, I mean, anytime there's some sort of, I guess you can say trauma, there's like your brain just isn't comprehending what's happening. So no wonder people are just like, oh crap, like what happened when they see something because you're not anticipating something, you're just going about your day, you're not anticipating something astronomical to happen to you. So you're just kind of taken back, and so of course you're going to get so many different counts of what's going on,
right.
and people can't comprehend what's happening to them.
You're right. No, dude, interacting with the ET, that'd be crazy shocking. Just like
Yeah.
these guys. These are my personal collection of
Oh, those are
antique
great.
Kachina dolls from the Hopi Indians. These are from the 1940s and 50s.
That's awesome.
I won them in auctions. My favorite one is the one that looks like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But look
yeah.
again how robotic and astronaut they all look.
Yeah.
And I love the story of these Kachina that came down and helped the Hopi that were starving in the desert. This blue star came down and showed them three mesas that were prosper or ground that can actually grow shit. And then these things actually physically interacted with them motherfuckers. They taught them agriculture,
Right.
mathematics, and all these different ones had different practices and different arts and no like different knowledges. Not all of them knew all certain. So that's why like the ancient Hindus, that's same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they all had
Hmm.
different looks, multiple uh heads of animals. But again, very astronaut like to me in my eyes. And especially when
Yeah.
this is a form of a cargo cult because these keep being made through their culture to give to
Hmm.
their kids because these things promised one day to return. So I mean, so they made these dolls for their kids. So when they if these things pop up in their lifetime, they're not going to be afraid. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I mean,
Especially
that was something else I was going to mention too, how I think it's unfair for the general population to be afraid of aliens. And I think a lot of it comes from just unknown. We're afraid of the unknown. And I don't know, it just seems not fair to be afraid of an alien just because we don't know who they are. I mean, obviously, if there's, some aggression towards,
right.
you, then that's fair. But I think we're just generally afraid of things we don't understand.
Especially if they were interacting seriously with us in the past. They could have killed
Hmm.
us a long time ago. We could have been way
Right.
gone. I mean,
Right.
we're prior to their creation. They're watching us grow, and they could be sitting on the back of the moon just watching us. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? No, it's
Just
just
snacking on their pancakes, just,
yeah. And I always think that too. Like, if I was an alien, I would fuck with somebody like that too. Just like
oh yeah, just do a drive-by.
do something, yeah, do something like
Why
crazy.
wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I just be like, oh, let's zoom past this fucker real quick.
Yeah,
I need
I'm
some
gonna wig
water.
this
Let's give
guy
this
out.
guy some pancakes. Let's just,
Yeah, have him like totally dumbfounded, like when we leave.
I mean, just imagine like if you're like, you guys just want to fuck with someone today? We're
Yeah,
so bored up here in alien land. Let's just go fuck with these humans because
yeah. Or if
they're
this
dumb.
again, this could be their playland since the dawn of time. I mean, they could be in the bottom of the
Right.
ocean. That's their home base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've
We have
just
no
been
idea.
popping out whenever they want. No,
Yeah.
we're their guests. They've been here since the dawn of shit. So
I mean, And the whole thing to me, I think it's very, like, I don't know if egotistical is the word for it, for us to think that we're the only beings.
No, no.
You know what I mean? It's that whole idea of it's just so self-centric of, oh, we can only be the intelligent life that exists. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? No. Like, come on.
And who doesn't say that we ourselves are the ETs that crash landed here millions and millions of years ago? Like we
Exactly.
had to start from scratch because some dumbass crash landed on Earth, and we had our wars because of that, and we lost all the technology, we
Yeah.
lost all the shit, and we had to start from sticks and stones again.
Yeah.
And because it makes you wonder
I don't
too,
know because
because
I wasn't there. I don't
well,
know.
it kind of makes you wonder. We're the only species on Earth that needs sunscreen to protect from the sun. No other animal on Earth needs
I need sunscreen, yeah.
protection from the fucking sun. I'm sorry. So I mean, it sounds like we're
Literally, the thing
it's
that
not
heats us up.
exactly. So
Like,
like for species that were, especially if we're evolving all the time, we would think we'd be having skin that could battle the elements by now, or having
yeah,
a fur like
something,
our whole body,
you
right?
know?
Like just things that it doesn't make sense. I feel like we're going backwards. It's just
Yeah.
weird. It's just like we're not revolving.
No, I
We're
know.
turning into gray aliens by the next
Seriously. I never
50
even thought
years.
about that, Dustin. Holy shit, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm blowing your mind.
I know. I'm like, fucking sunscreen. I have to, what? Yeah.
Especially you. You're a ginger.
Oh my God. I am so
The
nervous.
sun is like
I
your
know.
enemy.
I'm going to Egypt next month, and I'm
Are you
like,
really?
oh, yeah, I
Oh,
am. I'm
that's
very
oh. So
excited.
here, all right. You're
Yeah.
gonna be
Give
looking
it to
at
me.
those. Look at man. If you get close
I
to those
know.
pyramids,
I
look at those
am gonna
blocks.
be,
Look at those blocks, and then you're gonna look at their toolbox, and you're gonna see dental floss and chicken bones, and you're gonna be like,
bro,
"What healthy
how do they
slave are
make
you
these?
whipping on the back to drag 80-ton boulders across
Yes,
20 miles of different terrain, especially sand?"
bro, I know. I'm
Such.
so excited.
I'm saying
Uh-huh.
they did do it. Men
Yeah.
did, but they did have the technology of the gods because the gods were right there on their side. Right?
Hmm.
They were even sketching on the walls that these guys were just chilling with them motherfuckers. And then we all
My
think it's
the
mythology. That's
person I'm going
crazy.
with too, he's from Egypt. He's my good friend, and he is a huge skeptic of things. So it'll be fun to go with him. I mean, he's been there, obviously, but yeah, he's into a lot of, you know, interesting like theories and ideas. So it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to go with him. And I'm really excited to go to Egypt. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Egypt? I'm super excited to go there, and I will be bringing my sunscreen of 1,000 SPF because,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I'll take plenty of pictures, and
Yeah,
I want
please
to
do.
see some mummies, dude. I want to go and see some mummies.
Yeah, that'd be really
I know.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, just seeing some of the just the megalithic structures, and again, it's just so ass backwards, isn't it? Like we should be doing
Yeah.
stuff like that right now with the technology we have, making pyramids like that because we can with the technology we have now. But
Right.
it'd
And
be
they're
even
still standing.
and it'd be yeah. Well, then it like again, it takes a lot of mathematics even back then. If you even mess up a little bit on the bottom of the pyramid, it's gonna be all fucked up when you get to the top. So I'm just saying, like, you had to be so
Mm-hmm.
precise. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You can't fuck anything up. And it's just like,
And then to somehow make it to where you can go in it. Like, what? Like, what?
well,
What?
and guess what? There's no hieroglyphics in those pyramids. You
Oh,
know that?
no.
Yeah. So it makes it like they're like power plants or something like that, harnessing energy,
Interesting.
or like if they're
Oh.
in the ley lines, or if it's like they had like a theory where like they're pumping water from the Nile from underneath the pyramid and make it just like a
Mm-hmm.
pump, like a hydration, make the whole thing vibrate. Maybe that's one way of like levitating heavy stone. There's a guy, if I can find it. I have the book somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it really quick. Maybe it won't be quick. uh, well, there's a guy in Florida. I forgot where in Florida. Fuck. Uh, he back in the 1920s. built this megalithic structure.
Okay.
Um, Not just one, but it's like a garden of structures, like megalithic. This dude's this old 70-year-old scrawny ass fucking dude was moving or somehow with a single pulley, but it had like a mysterious box on top of it. This guy was smart as shit. And apparently it had like a machine underneath this place where I don't know if it
Okay.
made, but he made he wrote a book that is like titled I learned the secrets of the Egyptians.
Okay.
So he claimed that he found the
How
techniques
they
of
did it. Like
how they
they're
harnessing natural energy and
shit.
moving like stone that's like tons,
Too
but
heavy to
it'd be
right.
like feathers basically
Right.
on
Right.
that certain area of the ground would be like
Right.
of his vibe. But the fact that there's something underneath this place too that was a machine, it might have created some kind of energy that made stuff just light as fuck. I don't know, but again, like he's just you see this scrawny ass old man in the
Right.
1920s, and he built this thing for a woman that he was madly in love with, and he was trying to
Oh,
impress her with this place, and then he still ended up being heartbroken. She just was never impressed. I didn't even look at the thing. But again, it turned into a
that
big
sucks.
mystery, and it still
Right.
is today. That like how this guy fucking did it. Like even through his books, it doesn't really like. I don't think it's
Right.
a full
Doesn't
secret. Kind of
reveal.
he kind of just kind of rubs it in your face a little bit. I have no idea. It's just kind of like what the fuck. It's kind of like some
Dude, that's kind
Tesla
of
shit,
cool.
isn't it? I can get back to you
Yeah.
on. I have the book. Actually, I can let you borrow it. It's pretty dope.
That sounds pretty
It's got some
cool.
cool pictures in it. Um, yeah, so we have all these mysterious people in history that do all this weird shit. There's another guy too in India who claimed to this is 20 years before the Wright brothers flew. He claimed to be the first guy
Mm-hmm.
who flew, and I guess had like a few hundred witnesses that saw him. And
Shit.
there's actually a picture of this, but he claimed that he took old Hindu texts and they had like old blueprints of the Vimana. And like they just talk about step by step
Okay.
and like had like actual like drawings of the blueprints of Vimana back then where the gods were using. And this
Wow.
motherfucker was just slapping like, I'll take some
Yeah.
mercury and I'll throw some other fucking crazy shit chemicals. This motherfucker was flying
Motherfucker's
this
just
like
flying shit.
looked like a cigar. Like straight up. Like this guy was flying a UFO. And it looked like a fucking cigar, like a fat cigar.
Oh my
Like,
God, that's
does it
awesome.
look like it could fly? And it does. And it flew for a while, apparently. And it was
Shit,
witnessed
dude.
by, so there's a big controversy. You can look it up. It's like, was it the Wright brothers or this Hindu dude that was
Ah, okay.
first guy who flew? This is still up to debate because people don't think it's because the story of like, yeah, this guy took a holy text and actually made something that flew out of it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers, man, that's what I'm saying. These holy people were, I mean, these ancient people were so smart. Again, they didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the vocabulary. That's why we all mythonize the
Yeah.
shit out of everything they say. It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, man, these fuckers, holy shit, they're trying to tell you the best way they could. And then if you ever notice when you go to Egypt too, tell me if
Mm-hmm.
this cannot wig you out a little bit.
Okay.
All the hieroglyphics are so clean cut. Almost like a
Okay.
machine did it. And then you
Right.
claim you think everybody on earth has a different handwriting, skill set. Like not
Yeah.
everybody's gonna like pump it out the same that everybody else is pumping out the same shit. If
Right.
everybody was just doing
Right.
that back in the day. It
Right.
seems like it's like prefabricated or it had a machine to just straight up carving shit so easily. And like the measurements are just so precise. And
Dude, I'm
it's
gonna have
just
to
so
let you know. Oh my
dude, you're gonna
God.
shit your pants, man. You're gonna like just
Like
think
thinking
like
about it now, I'm like, oh fuck, dude.
yeah, just
Like
think of these old these people lived in mud huts or in
lit
like sand hut. Like what the
literally.
fuck?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like they had like barely any clothes. And what food were they eating back then? That I don't know, man.
Sand. I don't know what they eat. Sand.
A sandwich.
Sandwich. They eating sandwiches. They
Eating the sandwiches out there.
don't have bologna.
Yeah, bologna out there.
They don't have bologna. No, I'm also interested in the cuisine too. I have no idea what I'm gonna eat there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Do
I'll
your
let you know.
research. Yeah, do your research
Yeah.
first. Maybe figure out maybe not the street vendors. I don't know.
And
Like
no, I'm sure I'll be fine. Like I said, my friend is from there. He's got family there, so we'll
if he
be.
knows the street or knows the places to
Yeah.
eat, yeah. Or if he's gonna have homemade cooking a lot more, that'd be probably better.
I'm hoping there's going to be homemade food because why wouldn't I want to have homemade food in a different country? That's like the
So is your
best way
boyfriend
to
coming with
go.
you?
No, this is just one of my good friends
Yeah, yeah.
that I've
I was
known
just
for a
wondering if
few
he's gonna.
years.
Oh, I just wonder if like your boyfriend's gonna travel with you.
No, he's not. I
No.
know. I mean,
Okay.
I need to take him someplace. He needs to get his passport too. So, but I love to travel. So I
Oh,
travel
I
as
know
much
you
as I
do. You got
can.
the travel
So
bug.
I do. I love to go
That's
places.
why you like another reason why you should have a podcast. You can bring it around the world with you. So like you have
I
a
try
podcast
to.
in
Yeah, I know.
India, or I'm in
Yeah. I
Bangladesh, or
I
I'm
would
in
love to go to like Far Eastern places besides China, which I've done. So,
my mom went to India for
oh,
like
that's awesome.
2 weeks. And she was
Yeah.
there, and she stayed with someone that was, I guess, her. So her friend that she knows, it's about around or her age. Her parents went to India as like
Hmm.
mission, mercenary, not mercenaries, mercenaries. Was the ones who just go over
Something
there.
they had things to do.
Yeah, or just like try to help people. But anyways, they introduced the egg, the chicken egg to this village, and they never really eat chicken eggs like that. Like
Oh,
they just
interesting.
never really thought about doing stuff like that. And they kind of introduced it to them, and then they kind
Huh.
of have their family kind of got like big
Mind
in the
blowing.
village. Like these,
For
kind of
eggs.
praised, you're like, oh, this guy, these people are awesome. Their your family's always welcome here. So she's living in India, and I invited my mom, and they live like in the top of where the Ganges
Okay.
River starts,
Yeah.
like way top of the mountains. So she said she was staying in a city that was like off of cliff sides. She's like
Oh,
looking
that's,
out
oh, I bet it
her
was
balcony, and
gorgeous.
it was just like just cliff people houses off cliffs, and this fucking she looked down, there's clouds,
Oh, that
just
would have been amazing.
eerie, just like waterfalls and shit. She just thought it was just the most magical shit. And
Yeah.
then she went to some of the hardcore parts of India, the slums, and saw some of the
Mm.
oddities out there. And she's like, "Oh man!" She didn't go. She didn't go to
Yeah.
the
Different
bathrooms.
world.
She didn't go to the bathrooms down there. She said there's giant spiders in the bathrooms and shit. It's
Oh,
pretty,
no, no, thanks. I think I'll
yeah,
skip that part.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh gosh.
pretty wild. You gotta maybe stay in the richer parts of India if you want more of the cleaner stuff. I don't know,
Right. Yeah.
but
I try to find the sketchy places is what I try to do.
do you?
Yeah, I love going and just finding such random stuff. I mean, my friend and I when I was in China, we would get on a bus in Shanghai and we would just get off where we thought it was the most interesting. And I remember walking through like this market and just like seeing this guy just skinning frogs on the street.
Ooh,
And
dang. No,
yeah, it was like they were alive and he's just ripping the skin off these frogs. And
that's horrible.
there were so many intense things that I saw in China. It was
Don't they have
fun
like
though.
a? Don't they have like a? I think they have a China. They have like a restaurant where they have like a monkey. It has like a table that they put the monkey in the middle of the table, and everybody takes turns hitting it on the head. And they
Oh God,
cracking over his head, and then they
that sounds
tear it
horrible.
open, and they eat monkey brains fresh. Like,
Oh, that sounds fucked. I would not go to that or do that.
no, that is
No,
so
that sounds not
fucked.
not good.
And I don't
Yeah.
understand about. I guess, I guess I can understand back in olden times they had problems selling food because it gets spoiled right away.
Right.
They show people that's the freshest they have at their markets,
Yeah.
like here it's alive. You can
Yeah.
buy it alive and kill it
Right.
yourself and
Yeah.
torture it if you need to. Like
Right. Oh
fucking
God.
god.
Yeah. No thanks. I think I'll
Yeah.
pass. I'll just stick with
Yeah. Why
vegetables
the
if
fucking
that's the case.
torture an animal like
Yeah, no. No, no good. No,
no.
no fun.
Or it's like those
We
people who make videos that eat like live squid and shit. Like that is
I
so fucked.
so fucked, dude. Like, how cruel is
What
that?
is
Like,
that? The fuck?
it's cruel. It's cruel.
Mm-mm.
No, I can't get down with that. I
I'm
just
always
want
kind
the
of
animal
rooting
to
for
eat
like
them. I want the
yeah,
animal to bite them. I
yeah.
want them
I
to
saw
like
that
have
one.
something
I saw that
poisonous,
one girl getting her face
like got,
chewed by that
yeah,
octopus when she's trying to rip it
yeah.
off her face. It's like, yeah, bitch, what you thinking?
I I better fight back, you know? It's got to have some, yeah, no, I think it's fucked.
It's just
I
too,
agree.
and it's almost way too primal. You know, it's
Yeah.
like going way back to your roots of
Yeah.
primalness. And it's like
Yeah.
you're too sophisticated and like
Hmm.
it's just just come on.
Yeah. Like you're not even in its own environment to fight it. Like you're not even,
Yeah, exactly.
you're not, it's
That'd
not
be
in
one thing. If
any,
you're there in the jungle, then yeah, I understand
right.
you having to rip something apart, eat it alive
Right.
if you have to.
Exactly.
Because you're that hungry. Shit.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I'd start eating like grass or something.
I would start
I would
eating
not.
grass too. I
No,
would,
I just
we'll
like
just eat
I just
grass
can't.
and things.
I just can't kill animals. I'm just
No, I couldn't do
no,
it either. I
it's
couldn't do it.
too
Nope.
bad.
I'm too nice to kill an
Too
animal.
yeah. Let's have other people do it for me.
Correct. I
And cook
agree.
it so it doesn't look like an animal anymore.
Yep. It's just chunks at this point.
Oh shit, man!
I
Can you
know.
imagine? There's a theory too that we have this reptilian race that lives underground in the Arctic and underground everywhere. Um,
Hmm.
this ET race of man-eating ET. So there's
All right.
theories that there's a treaty with humans, with the governments, and even started even during the Nazi times that they were like giving people slave labor to these ETs for food and other weird shit they were doing to them for
Shit.
trade for technology. That's why uh, Hitler had some special ops. I don't know if you knew that Hitler was a hollow earth theorist and he was
No.
scouring the earth, having people scour the earth for him, trying to find the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant, and actually trying to find the entrance to the hollow earth to gain support, knowing that
Oh,
there was ET life or some kind of dwelling down there. And there's rumors that they have come across that there's records of Nazis doing three big expeditions down to Antarctica and then claim some of that place called New Schwabia. Um,
hmm.
yeah, that's weird shit. People are still finding reminiscences of Nazi shit down there. They were trying to
Damn.
during the war, they're trying to persuade people to move down there in Germany. Uh,
Oh God, no thanks.
yeah, right. Like fuck, no.
Nope. I'm good over here.
Antarctica,
Yeah, I'm good.
live in an ice box.
Nope.
Um, so yeah, and there's even stories of Admiral Byrd. He's the famous guy who was the first one to fly over the North Pole.
Hmm.
He had a journal on his deathbed that he got recovered. And he talks about his experience when he did fly over the North Pole, that he saw an opening and got close and saw there was vegetation, trees,
Bro,
mountains.
what?
And he's like, what the fuck? And he got closer and he saw mammoth. And he got even closer to get a closer look. And he got intercepted by flying saucers that
Bro.
had swastikas up on the motherfucker. He's like, what? And
Damn.
some like energy beam brought his craft into the hollow earth and went to this like
Bro.
city, glass city type shit. And then like had to talk to like the
Hmm.
head commander, ET, whatever guy. It was a human, a giant human, like 7 foot tall dude. Like
I mean, that's the only
and
thing that would survive there, so.
right, exactly. And he was like, we don't appreciate you guys doing all the bomb testing. It's it's disrupting our world. Like stuff has been happening in our world since you guys been blasting off on testing the shit. She's like, I want you to tell your government, stop, knock it off, and blah blah blah. And tell him this other information. And he goes
Shit,
back and
bro.
tells the superiors that, hey, dude, I got sucked in by a UFO into the hollow earth, told by some ETs that you guys have been fucking up the earth.
Right.
They're
So
like,
stop.
okay. So they kept that
Stop.
under wraps. And made it out like he was crazy, basically. You know,
What?
just because it was the cover up back in the 1950s, where the fuck he flew over the fucker. The 1940s, I don't know what the fuck it was.
Oh my God.
But yeah, what the fuck? So you can look up his Admiral Byrd's journal, and it has the detailed story of
Yeah. I'll
interacting
have
with ETs
to.
in the Hollow Earth, right? And the fact
Yeah,
that it had
dude.
swastikas on those uh the flying saucers. Like what?
Right.
Like did Hitler know something about that? Especially being a Hollow Earth theorist himself. It's like,
Like he
whoa,
probably knew he had to have,
yeah,
or
he
at least
must.
know that it existed.
Yeah. Well, the swastika has been around for thousands and thousands of years
Well,
for all different
right.
cultures, even like
Like
here
the Hindus and
Native
yeah,
Native
everyone.
Americans to Hindus to Tibetans,
I
China.
mean, and did he adopt it from that? Or what came first, you know?
Oh, he adopted. Oh yeah, no, Hitler
He had
adopted the
adopted it
symbol. Oh
already.
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
That would have been some shit though if he adopted it from that would have been cool.
Yeah. No, he did adopt it from like the old Hindu texts and all that shit. Like it's meant for prosperity and good
Yeah.
luck. Good luck, I think it was mostly. No, again, he ruined it. He
I
ruined
was
that
about to
symbol
say
for everybody.
he ruined it for everyone. He made it perverse and terrible and
Yeah.
it's not what it's
But no,
meant
I think
for.
other cultures still use it in their practices because obviously it's been around way
That's what
before
it's
Hitler and
supposed to be
shit. So
for.
exactly.
It shouldn't be, it's too bad that a symbol of like peace and prosperity has been made into
Yes.
something evil.
Yes.
Hmm.
Crazy, crazy. But again, that symbol is very mysterious that's been on multiple continents all around the world at all different times. Like the same just with the pyramids, all the continents, um, and all that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Has yeah, everywhere.
It's
I don't know if
crazy.
you have you been to Aztalan?
No, I haven't. No.
Jesus Christ, girl.
I
This
know. I
place
need to
is
get out more.
awesome. It's only 35 minutes away.
I know. It's so close too.
My audience is probably gonna hate me for talking about it, but I think this place is mysterious because I live in Wisconsin and it's beautiful and it's just crazy that we have it here. I'll show you really quick. This is Aztalan from an aerial view. These are
Nice.
the gigantic land pyramids. Look how tiny those people are on top of that.
Dude.
So this is the pyramid of the sun. There's two pyramids, and then the pyramid of the moon
Oh, that is so cool.
here. It's just the one stair pyramid. And the Native Americans tell their story about these people that they came from afar. They had different clothing. They practiced elongating their skulls, and they practiced cannibalism. They built
Mm.
this village and built these pyramids, and they built this gigantic wall that where you see the wood pillars. They'd be filled in
Yeah.
with mud and other things to totally fill it in. It's obviously they keep it up once a year. These things would rot out, obviously through the hundreds of
Right.
years it's been here,
Yeah.
or thousands, let's just say. Um, the most mysterious part about As to Land is they one day just dropped everything and disappeared. No sign of sickness or war. Um,
What?
yeah, really weird shit, right? But the fact that this that's why they called it Aztlan. They thought even the Aztec came from South America and set up shop here.
Shit.
There's other theories that there's the Mississippians. It's another native ancient culture that was here, related to some other pyramids in Illinois that might be connected to Aztalan. There's Rock Lake that's 5 miles away from Aztalan that has 10 pyramids on the bottom of Rock Lake. Uh, Frank
Oh.
Frank Joseph wrote two books about the pyramids. Went scuba diving down there, saw some of them. They're like elongated pyramids. They're slowly still sinking because that's a very muddy, murky lake.
Yeah.
Um, and the first settlers came to Wisconsin. They saw them poking out of the lake, and they asked the natives that were living there at the time what those were, and they said that they were the stone teepees of the ancient ones. So
That's
this is
cool.
before like the It must be before, obviously, the glaciers, because it's
Hmm.
underwater.
That's what I was about to say. It would have, yeah, it had, yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
shit. And then even the ancient Native Americans are saying that's the ancient teepees from the ancient ones. We don't know much
Yep.
about it. We just know
Like they're down there.
they're down there somewhere swimming. They're mermaids now. No,
Right.
and then there's another place nearby that it's like the mini Stonehenge of Wisconsin. And it's related to Rock Lake, and it's called Missouri Hill. It has a few megalithic monoliths. They're like 6 feet tall. Some have some carvings on them, like a snake eating an egg.
Oh,
And
neat.
they're surrounded by smaller stones stacked and very mysterious. Like, what are these?
I guess you're gonna have to take me around to these different places in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Duh.
Like, duh. Like, why don't
Oh
you want
my
to hang out
gosh,
with me?
yes.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
we should totally do it. We should totally go and take pictures and be like, we did it, yay.
Yeah. And they actually have like a little mini museum next to Aztalan of all the stuff they dig up because they still bring UW students there to dig up bones and pottery, and
Oh, that's cool.
there's still tons of shit there. That's another thing too. They don't tell this shit in high school.
No.
Why? This is in our
Right. What are
backyard.
you hiding?
I had to find this shit out like when I'm in my 30s.
Right.
Like, what the
Right.
fuck?
Mm-hmm. These are the
No.
things that we should know, like local history, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And especially when it's mysterious like that. Maybe that's one reason why they don't tell us because they don't know much about.
That could be it. It's like, what are you hiding?
What are you
Always we want.
hiding? That
Mm-hmm.
elongated skull you pull out of the ground. What's that?
Right. That is not Sparky. And it's not
That
Grandpa. Who is
no.
it?
Well, I was thinking too, like body modifications, like even how tattooing came into human existence.
Mm-hmm.
Was it an accident where someone got a wound on their foot and some mud got up in it and it healed? And then someone's like, oh, that made a cool mark. Maybe we could do that
All
again
right.
with some mud and whatnot with a stick of shit. Or was it more they were interacting with ETs or something that they wanted to mimic or wanted to be like? And so maybe these ETs
Oh,
might have
yeah.
had tattoos themselves or
Markings. Yeah.
designs on their clothing or
Yeah.
something, you know. So again, was that something of a cargo cult that started the tattoos
Right.
or other body modifications? Because people who stretch out their faces or
Mm-hmm.
elongate their skulls in some cultures, they do that
Yeah.
because where did it
Yeah.
start from? Cargo cults.
Cargo cults. The answer
Cargo
is always
cults.
cargo cults.
It is
That's the
always
answer.
cargo. It is. It is. What the fuck? You kidding me? You shitting me? And then we have people thinking that we have this one guy who was crucified and shit, and can walk on water and turn wine into water or water into wine. What the fuck?
Right. Right.
I can do
Right.
both.
But
Boom, boom.
people believe that. But people are believing
Yeah,
that. But
yeah, yeah. But these are ancient cultures that semi make sense with their
right.
poetry. Yeah,
Right.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yourself. Oh.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. I agree, buddy. I agree. Mm-hmm.
No. So again, that's why I love having this podcast to ponder the ideas and have other people have their ideas and theories too of
Of
what they
course.
think, and you know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
I know. You'll have to we'll have to plan another time and I can meet your co-host because I
Yes,
wanted.
yes, yes. Hey, we could, yeah, let's see what time it is. We could probably wrap it up. It's been an hour and 20 minutes
Oh my
of,
gosh,
yeah,
already.
yeah, it flew by, didn't it?
It goes by fast. Yeah. It goes by
What?
so fast. Time
So
flies when you're having fun, buddy.
I know, right? And
Uh-huh.
you know what? Maybe thinking of resurrecting the noisy alley cats. If you
I'm totally there, buddy.
like to co-host with me on something like that,
Yeah, we could just like make that
or
yeah, like yeah, we
I
should
can have
totally
you
do that.
guest or be a guest co-host, so you're not gonna be on
Yeah.
all the time, so you have to dedicate because it is. I put a lot of dedication into this.
Yeah.
I'm on the grind, so
Yeah. No, like let me know. I could be like your part-time, most time, co-host, whatever.
I like your
And
setup because I can hear you nice and clear. So it's
oh, good,
yeah.
because this is actually my work thing. I actually do have like all my equipment that I had for
Yeah,
my
if you have like
podcast
something
over
like this
here.
too, yeah, that
Yeah, I haven't used it in a while, and one of them was a little bit, and that's why I didn't want to like use it tonight because I had to play around with
sure.
it more because one of them is once in a while we wouldn't hear, and I don't know if it was the connection or the microphone. But now that I'm doing it solo, I hopefully will figure it out. But I have like a whole interface and everything that I used to have like a headset with. But if this mic is good, I might just end up buying one of these. That's just like one of the bone conducting
Sure. Oh yeah, whatever you feel
mics.
comfortable. I mean, like I like these because it just sounds more profesh.
It, yeah, that's how mine was. Like the quality of my podcast was really good because we had the
Yeah,
professional mics. Um, and I want to get like a better camera and everything, just so everything is more professional looking and sounding.
you can get a green screen like I did. So
Yeah, I know. There's so much I want to do with stuff like that, but I would be more than happy to do that. And yeah, I we can figure that out whether, we co-host that or whatever we want to do and talk about. I'm more than happy to like even get on a schedule or something. So, yeah,
that'd be really, really cool.
that would be fun. The random shit that I talk about and just get me unscripted and talking about stupid shit that comes up in my mind, which is a lot of random stuff.
I am
Yeah.
totally about it. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yep.
No, can you tell my audience too, or they
Yeah.
can find your stuff? I was gonna do this
Well, let
really
me
quick.
look that up real quick. Yeah,
I was
because I
gonna
forget how it is. So yeah, if you guys want to find my podcast, I'm just pulling it up because I haven't looked at it in so long.
like my background.
Yeah, that's super cute.
Say that.
That's adorable. Yeah, so my podcast is on Instagram, and you will see it at Vial, VIAL _ This is what oh my God, it does not show up. That's my little logo I made. Like I said, I haven't done it in a couple years, but I want to resurrect it and maybe eventually just make just Vial and start talking just about anything and everything that kind of just pops in my mind because my mind is all over the place at all times. But yeah, on there, I think there's like 7 or 8 episodes. Me and my co-host Jason did some crimes and we went over them and we had a really good time. What I actually thought was kind of cool too, Dustin, is I tried to for each crime, I would get a beer in that from that state, which is
Oh,
what I tried
that's
to, yeah.
awesome. That's a great
I
idea.
know. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of fun. So I did that for a few of them. So, yeah,
Oh, cool.
that is me in a nutshell.
Cool. That's
So,
awesome. Well, I had to promote you in my background.
yay, that's me. Oh, hey,
That's,
that's me.
that's you. So yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me
yeah,
tonight.
that was so awesome. I'm definitely gonna have you back. You gotta meet Chrissy. She's
For
gonna
sure.
love you. You guys
Good,
gonna
good.
bounce
I'm
off each
excited to meet
other.
her. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. So, can you stay with me for 2 more minutes?
sure.